And hello. Uh, Welcome to the Larong Atin podcast. Well, in this case, the Asian Board Games Festival podcast. So, ano lang, I guess it's an intimate setting right now. I don't know where they are. Pero regardless, the stream must continue. So, asa na kayo? Show off, people. But yeah, good evening. So, I'm Dwayne from Larong Atin. And with me today is...
Hi, I'm Carol from Kite Foundation. Good evening.
And so, one of the reasons why we have guys today is we want Miss Carol to talk more about yung... Well, basically first, sige. Actually, I'm not sure if a lot of people will know kasi it's another intersect. If you've noticed kasi, the past few weeks, we've been doing parang intersectional na mga podcasts. So, meron kami, I think we started with comics, and then we went from comics to toys, then also that we went to Thailand then to talk with the designers, so parang more on the international scene. And then right now, one of the highlights din kasi, and one of the reasons why we push so hard yung Larong Atin as a brand is kasi it's not just for us parang like play kasi playing games ganun. It's a given na parang it's what we do. We like having fun, and then it's an activity that we do. But we also believe kasi na parang not just as an activity, not just as a distraction, pero we believe that play forms an integral part of yung holistic growth ng... Di nga bata lang eh. Actually, for us even now na medyo, well, we're not young anymore, pero play is still vital to what we do. So it resonates with us a lot. So even whenever we make games sa larong atin, it's always with that in mind. Na parang, I guess you could say, we take playing seriously.
Mm,
And then, ayun, so parang we wanted to walk the talk. And part nun is actually, we decided that early on pa lang, we wanted to partner with you. And basically for the kids. And ayun, so it aligns well with what we believe in, and we're hoping that through this stream we can start parang getting the intersectional awareness across. And then I think
mhm.
this is just but first of many partnerships I'm hoping with
Yes.
Kite specifically, kasi ayun nga, we want you to be involved in what's happening right now. So
Mhm.
before anything else, I guess I think it's best to introduce yourself, what
Mhm.
you do, and basically parang what Kite is all about.
Yeah, sige. Thank you, Dwayne. Hello, everybody. I'm Carol. I'm the Child Life Services Manager of Kite. So, to give you a background about what Kite is a nonprofit organization, and we focus on helping the children adjust to hospitalization. So, we cater to children with cancer and other chronic illnesses, no? Kasi, as you know naman, kahit tayo adult, pag nagkakasakit, di ba, mahirap, lalo na for children who are very young, tapos meron silang mga life-threatening illness. It's very difficult for them to adjust in the hospital setting, very anxiety-provoking environment sa hospital. So we at Kite, we provide play to children so that they can adjust to hospitalization, lessen their fear, and also for them to continue their development, no? Kasi syempre, pagka nagkasakit ang bata, they stop schooling, hindi na sila nakakapaglaro sa labas, nakakagala, 'di ba? So maraming aspect of their childhood ang nawawala. So as much as we can in Kite, we try to bring the childhood back to these children. No? So that's basically what Kite does. But maybe as we talk, Dwayne, no, mas mapapalalim natin yung pagkilala pa sa Kite.
Yeah, kung tayo nga sobrang like ang anxious natin over, well, specifically in settings na ganun, di ba? Parang hospitals are like places of dread for a lot of people.
Yeah, oo.
Like us as adults, ganun. What
Mm,
more,
mm.
lalo na yung alienating na conditions talaga na parang,
Yes.
is this the life? Na parang ganun yun eh, like, di ba? Medyo drastic eh. So, I guess we can talk more about specifically what I think play services is about. Dun muna tayo before we jump into games, I guess, para lang mas may context
Sige.
mga.
Sige. So, I'd love to talk about what exactly Kite does, no? So, meron kaming acronym na PETALS. PETALS. Yeah, for you to easily understand what we do. So, first, P, play. That's the core service that we provide, just like what I said earlier. Parte ng normal na development ng isang bata na naglalaro siya. Kasi sa paglalaro, dun siya natututong makipagkaibigan, mag-manage ng emotion niya. Pag natatalo siya, pag napipikon siya, di ba? Mag-discarte. Ang daming benefits ng play. And play is the basic language of children. Kahit hindi pa yan marunong magsalita, marunong mag-express na nararamdaman niya. Laro ang kanyang basic language and basic occupation ng mga bata. So, very important that we provide play to children. E, educate and prepare the child for the procedure. Kagaya nga na napapag-usapan natin, no, nakakatakot yung procedure, but if the child knows what's gonna happen to him or her, ano yung mga makikita niya, nararamdaman niya, maaamoy niya, no, at ano yung mga coping na pwede niya magawa, mas malilesen yung takot ng bata sa procedure, no? So, we use play. So, may mga medical play materials. We have developed a medical play doll na mukhang Filipino na you can open it and you can see yung mga internal organs so that we can educate the child. Oh, ito ang iyong heart, ito ang iyong lungs, ito ang iyong liver, no? So, very playful yung way of education. We also have developed books to help the child prepare for chemotherapy, for CT scan, and for the child to understand ano ba yung sakit niya, ano ba yung leukemia, ano ba yung beta thalassemia. So we've developed toys and books to help children understand and be prepared for the procedure. And then letter T, tend to the emotional needs of the child and the family. Of course, hindi lang naman yung mismong bata ang nahihirapan in the hospitalization, no? Pati magulang, pati kapatid. Kaya nga this coming March 28, meron kaming kite flying event. I-invite namin yung mga kapatid din ng patient at yung magulang nila so that they can have family time in a way na mahirap magkaroon opportunity lalo na pag may sakit yung bata, no? We also do letter A, assist during medical procedure. So kapag ang bata undergoing very invasive procedure, yung sakit na sakit sila, nasasaktan talaga sila, nagwawala sila. So andun kami. We're using play to distract them, to help them cope, no? To teach them, ito yung pwede mong gawin. Basahin natin yung book or pwede tayong mag-peekaboo habang nagpo-procedure ka, no? We also do L, link to resources and to networks, especially yung mga patient natin, hindi lang naman psychosocial support ang kailangan nila talaga ng pamasahe, ng gamot, no? So we try to look for resources na pwedeng makatulong sa kanila, pwedeng organization, pwedeng government institution. And lastly, letter S, support parental involvement. Kasi syempre, kanino ba kumukuha ng lakas ng loob ang mga bata? Syempre sa kanilang mga magulang, no? So we try to empower the parents paano nila best masusupport ang kanilang bata. So that's the summary of how we do things in Kite.
Yeah, sige. So yun, petals, remember that, sige. May quiz mamaya. Well, I have a friend kasi actually, medyo tangent, but not really. I have a friend kasi na who's actually in hospice care. And medyo ganun nga, like parang in dealing with specialized conditions, I guess, parang it's not enough to just deal with the sickness or with the treatment of the sickness. It's a holistic thing. And hindi lang siya hindi lang siya dun sa mismong person involved, pati actually yung community, yung family, and then I'm sure if nasasaktan yung kids, nasasaktan din yung family, like going through it yung day to day. Or may mga cases ba na even na sometimes wala actually support system or like walang families or does that happen?
Actually, minsan may patient kami one time na inabandon ng parent yung child kasi baby pa siya.
Mm.
So, dinala sa hospital tapos naka-confine. Tapos sabi nung mami, alis lang ako, labas lang ako. Tapos di na bumalik. So, minsan may mga ganun abandonment, In other cases naman, yung marital conflict dahil nga sa stress
Mm.
ng caregiving, no? So minsan may either mommy or daddy yung hindi kaya ang stress, ano, hihiwalay na siya, mawawala na siya, ano. So, one parent na lang yung ano, parang nagiging solo parent sila taking care of the child, and very, very stressful yon for the caregiver or for the parent.
Yeah, yung mga ano talaga, crisis din nagiging cause of conflict pa on top. Grabe. So, in those cases, I guess, aside from play, I guess, parang paano yung support? Like, how does it, what is a day like? Parang ganun, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those na wala talagang support, walang like totally na-abandon yung bata, ano, we get support from the social services of the hospital, no? And for those na mga solo parent na nag-aalaga na nga sila ng anak, magtatrabaho pa sila, no? So in case, if there is a sponsor who's willing to finance the needs of the child, we link them. Okay, may sponsor, willing to give, there's a family in need, we try to link them. Kaya minsan hindi namin sinasabi, no, hindi kayo, kailangan nyo ng support, punta kayo sa amin. Kasi nga, we wait for a sponsor to be ready na adopt ng patient nila.
So, in that case, merong parang adoption system, I guess, parang adopt a patient na system.
So we call it quote and quote adopt a patient kasi parang the concept is you're assigned to one patient kung sponsor a child na sa gamutan niya from within 1 year. Pero just to clarify, not literal na adoption na aampunin ko. So parang ano siya, adopt na ako yung ano mo, secret Santa mo. Ako yung ano mo, yung ninong mo or ninang mo na mag-aalaga or magbigay sa'yo ng tulong na financial support for your medication and treatment.
And then this is more for medical. So, I guess
Yeah.
if anyone wants to, if anyone wants to adopt a patient,
Mm.
they just approach you, or there's a system
Yes.
for it.
Yeah, visit our website, kite.org. So you will see in our website yung ways you can help. So if you wish to adopt a patient, or we also have a campaign, yung wellness campaign. So minsan kasi kailangan ng bata ng milk para yung health nila, other than the medication, meron ding support na nutrients, ano. Also meron din kaming share a fare. So ito naman yung mga pamasahe naman, mga bata hindi makapunta sa ospital kasi some of the hospital naman sa government hospitals, libre naman siya, no balance billing, pero yung transportation to and from the hospital kailangan din siya. So we also ask donors and sponsors or mga secret Santa ninong-ninang dyan na pwede magtulong sa ating mga patient.
Ano talaga, kailangan holistic approach talaga.
Oo,
Ang daming
holistic
barriers
siya.
talaga.
Especially sa third
Hindi lang
world
gamot.
country. Oo, correct.
Yeah. So, ito, actually, kanina I actually had a chance to look through what Kite offers. And then, syempre, from kwento ni Sir Freddy, it's been here for a while. Actually, ilang years na? Ilang decades na?
34 years since 1992.
So next year is gonna be one of
35th
those, yung mga ganun,
milestone.
like half a diamond. I don't know what they call it.
Yes.
Pero, may mga plans na ba, or ano? Wala pa naman. Secret pa.
Surprise. Pero yearly naman meron kaming parang events that we look forward to, like this March. There's a kite flying. We also do summer camp. Yung summer camp, 3 days, 2 nights na yung mga bata. Hindi kasama yung mga parent nila. Tapos, parang siyang outing siya na 3 days, 2 nights. So, it's a chance for children to experience nga na, uy, ako lang, independent ako. Tapos, parang siyang mala team building activity din also for the patient, para they get to have new friends, they get to experience something different kasi ang buhay nila karaniwan bahay at ospital lang. So those are some of the yearly events that we are doing na nilulook forward ng mga bata.
So, kumusta naman yung, I guess, yung parang logistics with that? May mga, ano naman, kasi it's a very special, actually one of the reasons why we're so interested in it, guys, is you deal with a very specific na, parang, I guess, case. So, kumusta yung logistics ko na if you want to have yun nga, like a summer camp, may mga special considerations ba? May mga persons na hindi talaga kaya? And then, I don't know, kasi, syempre, we're dealing with sickness and
Yeah.
ganun.
Oo. So, we carefully choose the patient na sasama namin. So, those, dapat may clearance sila from the doctor na kaya nila at pwede sila, no? And also, to be safe din, nagsasama din kami ng medical staff. May mga doctors kaming kasama. Minsan, also, mga nurse, no? So, tsaka may nakaabang kaming, sasakyan na parang magsaserve as ambulance, no? Pagka mayroong bata na kailangan din sa ospital, madadala namin kaagad. So, medyo yun nga, tama ka, malaking responsibility, malaking event, yung logistic, Pero, since we've been doing this for almost 30 years na yata itong summer camp namin, na yearly namin ginagawa, na siya. Parang medyo, nagla-learn naman kami from our past experience, nagagamay na namin how to handle these kinds of big event.
So, likewise, if anyone wants to, hello, Nico.
Hello.
So, likewise,
Oh, sorry, I'm late. Hello. Hello, Miss
ayan,
Carol.
so,
Hello
Nico,
po.
Larong
this is
Atin.
Nico, one of our designers from Larong Atin.
Hello.
Ayan. So,
I
back to my question. Sige.
I just wanna say congrats again for the almost 35 years. I actually remember nung college ako. I can't remember the exact same event, pero may pinuntahan kaming parang yon fundraising ng Kite. So that was like maybe 15 years ago or medyo matagal na. And I actually, funnily enough, I have a parang planner ng Kite. Alam mo yung mga notebooks na tatambak. So it's somewhere there. Hindi ko
Oo.
pa and then notebook siya. Hindi ko pa siya napupuno. So
Wow.
I actually used it for mga game design notes ko. Pero I don't know where I placed it. But I'm sure pag nagligpit ako dyan, makikita ko yung Kite notebook ko.
Oo. Wow, thank you, Nico. Talagang precious notebook yun kasi merong
I
mga design
remember.
ideas.
It was in UP the event, but I don't remember what exactly it was about. Pero yun, parang fundraising ng Kite.
Ayun. So, ano pala? So, connect ko
Yes.
lang yung question kanina. So, one of the reasons why I asked about the logistics kasi is, again, laging bumabalik eh. Is there a way if they want to support directly yung summer camp? Parang, if people would feel compelled na, actually specifically for this, like I want the kids to experience a chance to, kasi aside from just yung, the conditions that are stopping them from experiencing it normally, mahal talaga mag-summer camp in general.
Oo.
So what if someone wants to support like a child to be able to join? Meron bang ways and means to do that?
Yeah, oo. So, similar with the kite flying, they can sponsor a child to join the summer camp, no? So, pwede din, if not financially, you can also provide mga in-kind donations. So, minsan yung mga bata, enjoy sila kung meron silang something na bit-bit nila pa uwi after the camp. Minsan nga yung mga bata, mas madami pa silang bit-bit na mga bags pa uwi kasi nga may mga natatanggap din silang giveaway. So those are some of the ways you can support. So sponsor a child to summer camp or provide mga in-kind donation na pwedeng magamit ng mga bata throughout the summer camp. So minsan din yung mga minsan kasi we allow them to experience childhood with chichirya or minsan candies, chocolate. So parang last summer camp, we had a buffet of mga snack items. Sige, kuha kayo kung ano yung parang community pantry siya. May biscuit, may chocolate, may chichirya. So, fun activity siya na parang may mini sari-sari store dun sa summer camp. So, yun.
Mm.
Hmm.
How old
So,
usually mga kids sa
Yes.
mga camp.
na nagjo-join ng summer camp. So, ang limit namin, dapat youngest ay 8 years old para yung medyo
Hmm.
independent na. Pero, hindi lahat,
sige.
hindi lahat ng 8 years old or 8 to 18. Para namimili talaga kami na sino yung healthy, sino yung independent na, sa yung di iiyak pag di katabi yung parents kasi nga kami lang mga staff kasama at saka sila. So yun, parang dapat kaya na niya at ma-enjoy naman yung camp.
Nico, maybe they can take home some games then.
Yung 8 to 18, then we can let's see what games na pwede nating i-provide for 8 to 18 years old. Kasi that's the kind of the age na interested na sila sa
Correct.
mga board games, card games, things
Correct.
that are structured. I
Yeah.
don't know, yung personal opinion ko kasi is younger than usually younger than 10. Medyo mas free play pa sila. Parang wala masyadong structure, parang yung imagination lang, tas ano-ano lang maisip nila. Pero I think na, first personal opinion ko lang is that the older kids, usually mga preteens and older, gusto na nila yung may rules para may challenge, may competitiveness, ganon. Hindi lang yung ang ano-ano lang maisip, ganon.
Actually, developmentally nga, around school age to teenager yan. Yun yung gusto nila yung merong rules yung game, may nananalo, may natatalo. Kasi nga yung feeling of sense of competence na, ay, magaling ako, kaya ko siya, or kahit di ko pa kaya, gagawin ko yung best ko para manalo ako sa game, no? So, yun nga, developmentally may sense na sila ng working together, panalo, matalo, magaling ako dito, or best ako dito. So, they want that feeling of, parang yung may self-esteem na nakaya ko to.
Parang sila taken seriously. Like in games kasi, you can be competitive, you can be serious in playing, tapos pero yung stakes naman is, wala, nanalo ka na sa game. Hindi naman siya like super consequential na, it will haunt you back, ganun. So, I think that's a good tangent into play. So, parang, given the situation, lalo na with the kids, parang, mas limited yung access nila to, I don't know, maybe life experiences. Like, to put it simply, like, like, for a lack of better terms. I think, this is where play might come in. Parang as if what we want is a holistic experience, holistic growth pa rin na hindi impeded ng condition nila. Like, I guess, how do we set the environment, I guess, or parang ano yung practices or mga observations throughout the years, like with how kids are and yung ganun, in that specific situation.
I also love the idea na parang pwede tayo magbigay ng board games during summer camp. Actually, pwede din. Pwede din kayo if ever we have mga viewers out there na gusto mag-donate ng board games, activities sa mga playroom. Pwede din naman para yung mga bata, they can still do board games kahit sa bedside.
Sa mga beneficiaries nyo and like let's say the summer camp ganon, what kind of games do they usually play? Like sports? Kasi I would think na yung ibang sports baka medyo mahirap for everyone. So what usually are the kinds of games?
Sige. So, dun minsan we do group activities talaga na structured play. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, parang team building activity siya na wherein they're forced to work together, to plan together, mag-discard together, So, last year, we did mga larong Pinoy, ganyan, mga tumbang preso, holen, piko, kasi nga, puro gadget
Wow,
ng mga
actually,
bata ngayon.
Actually, rare na yung ata yung mga naglalaro pa ng holen and
sipa, yung mga sungka, ganyan. So, very Pinoy, para mag-ground din sila sa cultural concept ng larong Pinoy. And also, may mga yun yung mga active time, pero may mga downtime kami. So during downtime, yun yung mga bibigyan namin sila ng mga, meron kaming ano din, parang a table full of different board games or mga
Mhm.
activity that they can do together. So yun, so minsan pag nagpo-form ng barkada-barkada, "O sige, o laro tayo sungka." O may sungka competition do'n, may chess
Mhm.
competition dito, may snakes and ladder competition dito. So parang nagpo-form sila ng ano, parang parallel play na may ilaro dito, may laro diyan. So parang gano'n siya yung
Mhm.
concept ng summer camp.
Yeah, I would I don't know if, um, would you say na parang, let's say board games, card games are a little bit, more accessible sa
Yes.
mga kids? Kasi yun nga, for example lang, kunyari ako, actually, meron akong disability. But my disability only manifested nung college na ako. So actually, or at least hindi ko alam, parang naging malala lang siya nung after college. So, yung disability ko is it's a rare condition but yung manifestations niya is, my hearing is very sensitive. It's an ear condition kasi. So, very sensitive na, masakit siya 'pag maingay. And
Mhm.
kapag ano, 'pag maingay, tapos dahil din dun nagkaka-migraines ako and nagkakaroon ako ng balance issues. So,
Mhm.
later on parang yon I felt na na-limit yung mga activities na
Mhm.
puwede kong gawin. Kasi
Mhm.
kunyari yung mga physical activities na may balancing or
Mhm.
maingay kasi
Mhm.
may mga sumisigaw gano'n, parang mahirap na for me to be involved in those. And
Oo.
that's one thing I appreciate with board games and card games kasi accessible siya sa akin. Well, not all kasi may mga board games na maingay, yung mga sumisigaw. Pero
Ah,
like the games I like are medyo tahimik, medyo may pagka-puzzle like na nag-iisip yung mga
mm.
tao kasi accessible siya sa akin. So
Yes.
do you have any similar experiences po with the kids like certain games allow certain individuals to
Yes.
be part of the community when usually they are not able to be part of the community?
Yeah, oo, I agree with you. Iba-iba
Mm,
yung mga bata, bukod sa
mm,
iba-ibang edad sila, may iba-iba silang need. During our summer camp nga, meron kaming isang patient na bukod dun sa sakit niya, meron din siyang um, what do you call this, developmental needs, no? Na parang
mm,
hindi siya maka-cope with the others, yon. So, hindi namin siya, yon, parang first, hindi namin fino-force yung bata if he or she is not ready. And
mm,
then, binibigyan namin siya ng opportunity to try na gawin yung mga activity, no? So, this kid, ayaw niya nung ibang games, pero nung sinabi namin, oh, yung tumbang preso, gusto mo yun? Sige, gusto ko po, subukan ko. So,
mhm,
nung tinry niya, na-hit niya yung lata, parang nag-iba yung ano niya, yung mood niya. So, initially, parang ayoko, takot ako, hindi ko kaya, to, kaya ko pala, no? So, yun din, we are very sensitive to the needs of the child. And yun nga, dapat number one, you should follow the pace of the child. Hindi mo force ko ano yung agenda mo as adult. Hindi, team building to. Kailangan nag-form tayo ng
mhm.
team. Ganon.
Yes. Ay
Dapat
actually
hindi
ano
mo.
nga, ayoko po yung minsan yung mga gano'n, mga kunyari Christmas party ta's fino-force yung mga tao na sumali. I don't
Ah,
know, medyo even in game design medyo principle siya na, a game is only a game if you join willingly, if you play willingly. If parang forced
correct.
ka maglaro tapos ayaw mo talaga, parang hindi siya game para sa'yo, parang forced
Oo,
ka lang. Mm.
oo. Parusa siya, hindi siya
Oo,
laro.
oo. Mm, gano'n nga.
Yeah.
And yun, actually si Sir Freddy actually nagulat ako na si Sir I found this out maybe a few years back. Pero nagulat ako na si Sir Freddy, so si Sir Freddy yung sa larong atin, is a founding member pala of Kite.
Mm.
Yeah. So nagulat lang ako na parang, talaga hindi ko yun alam. Pero yun si Sir Freddy also always um says nga na games are a great way for people who are um, what's the right word? Parang um, hindi parang may konting
May
social awkwardness.
barriers to yeah. Mm.
Oo,
So iba-iba
parang
yan eh. Like
oo,
it can be personal or
It can
condition or
of
ganun. So
Yeah.
development.
awkward, yung may mga ganun eh. Hindi sanay sa
Ah,
social scenario.
Kasi,
mm,
although I've heard this from other people as well, with games, parang dahil may structure, dahil may rules, alam ng tao paano siya makikisabay sa activity, makikisabay sa community. Kasi
mm,
usually yung mga, kunyari, ano lang, usap-usap lang or yun, nagkwekwentuhan lang or nagso-socialize lang. Yung mga ibang tao, they don't know how to interact kasi open-ended yung social rules. Pero with games,
yes.
since may rules, it helps guide them to the interaction with the other people. Mm.
Yeah, there's a sense of safety kasi yung
Mm.
rules ng game, it makes us safe na ang awkward, anong pag-uusapan natin, gagawin natin.
Mm.
Yung rules of game, okay, ito, mag-distribute tayo ng cards. Okay, your
Mm.
turn, my turn. Diba?
Mm. So, yeah. Mm. Um, Pero, I'm just, this is my, ano lang, I don't know if mali yung, this is, ano, segue lang. I don't know if mali yung naalala ko, but I remember when we did that activity nga with Kaith nung college, yung parang focus ng Kaith was more kids who have cancer. Has
Ah,
that parang evolved? Kasi parang ngayon mas broad na yung conditions na,
yes.
mm. So hindi mali
So,
yung naalala ko. Parang there was a time na focus talaga sa cancer patients
mm.
pero ngayon parang ano na, mas broad na.
I think that's one of the misconception about kahit na
Hmm,
cancer lang.
okey.
So, it started with ano, with kids with cancer in East Avenue Medical Center.
Yes.
Pero na nag-expand na rin sa iba't ibang hospital. Lahat ng may chronic ano, condition, no?
Yes.
So, I think after East Avenue, yung mga ospital magkakatabi, heart center, kidney,
Hmm.
NKTI, mga iba't ibang organs yung ano na yun, sa area na yun
Hmm.
nag-use. Para we also had partnership before with National Kidney Institute and Transplant Institute, no? So, ibang patient din naman yung mga yun, pero may mga chronic illnesses. And other than cancer, actually, minsan sa ibang cases, mas mahirap yung chronic diseases kasi lifetime yun eh. Ang
Yes.
cancer may beginning and end. Kung halimbawa, makagraduate ka sa chemotherapy,
Yes.
ano. But for others, lifetime mo ima-manage siya and
Yeah.
it's more stressful for the family. And similar din naman sila na life-threatening, no? So, um, naging ano na rin yan ng KAIF, naging goal na rin ng KAIF to reach out to those who have chronic illnesses. And recently, nag-expand na nga rin kami not just with chronic and cancer, kasi we also cater to mga acute cases eh. So, we are also partnered with Philippine Orthopedic Center. So, eto sa
Mhm.
Philippine Orthopedic Center, mga bone-related cases, mga
Bones, yes.
fracture, though may iba doon, may cancer, bone cancer,
Mm.
pero yung fracture, may maikli lang yung timeline ng
Mm.
ano nila.
Mm.
Pagkatapos na mag-heal ng bones, alis na sila. Pero stressful pa rin yun kasi
Mm.
it takes sometimes weeks and months
Yeah.
for bones to
Mm.
heal. So, bedridden
Oo.
sila for months, diba?
Especially
Sobrang
kung bata ka, parang bedridden for 1 month, parang 1 year yun sa adult, 'di ba? Parang
Oo,
ang
Oo.
haba-haba ng 1 month na bedridden.
correct. Tapos yung mga bata doon, na-accident sila kasi malikot sila. So, innate sa
Mm.
kanilang gumalaw. Tapos you're not allowed
Mm.
to move for months. So,
Yes.
is suffering, di ba? So, it may not be cancer or not chronic, pero sobrang suffering ng bata for the duration na andun sila. Kaya, um, ngayon, meron palang activity ngayon sa POC. Nag-mural painting sila. Kasi nga
Oh.
yung walls doon plain lang. So,
Mm.
yung aming resident artist, si Ate Jem. Hi, Ate Jem, shoutout sa'yo. So, siya yung
Mhm.
nag-draw ng walls. Tapos yung
Mm.
mga volunteers, Parang siyang malaking coloring book, pinapaintan nila yung ano,
So parang
yung
may
wall.
nag-sketch tapos sila yung
Oo,
oh,
oo.
nice.
Tapos minsan din yung mga patient if kaya nila paint din sila kasi parang may feeling na, "Uy, itong wall na 'to dito ako for a long time." Pero pagka yung mga those children who are able, nagpe-paint sila, "Uy, makikita ko ako yung nag-drawing ng butterfly, ako yung nag-paint ng butterfly
Mm,
here."
that's
So, may
that's
gano'ng
nice.
feeling sila.
Actually, I'm curious now. Well, this is a personal ano lang. I'm curious kaya if any of your beneficiaries has my condition. My condition is ano rare. It's SSCD, so semicircular superior semicircular canal dehiscence. So basically um kasi ayun nga chronic siya. Um yung yung buto ko sa inner ear may crack. So yung mga energy from sound waves parang nag-leak sa brain ko, ganon. Does any meron bang it's beneficiary it's a newly discovered condition lang actually kasi na-discover lang siya noong 1998.
Hmm, interesting. So far,
Mm.
I haven't heard of a similar condition, pero I
Mm.
can't imagine na ang hirap niyan lalo na if you're in a space na wala kang choice kundi halimbawa, you're in a mall
Oo.
or in a crowded
Yeah,
place.
ano siya it's a from birth siya na condition.
Hmm.
Pero usually I don't know if tama yung kasi nga it's very new so it's a very new so hindi pa fully understood yung condition. Pero I think as you get older, lumalaki yung crack. So
Hmm.
kaya usually when you're young, hindi pa wala pang symptoms.
Okay,
And,
okay.
and most people who have the condition actually my condition usually nakapapansin nila yung symptoms nila usually mid-age sa mga
Hmm.
40s ganon. And usually women kasi women 'di ba usually parang mas mahina ang buto ng mga babae kaysa sa
Hmm.
mga lalaki
Mm.
so it affects them more. But also some people can get my condition because of trauma sa head. Like kunyari
Ah.
car crash, mga ganon.
Mm. Mhm.
So yun, but as I remember, they have found na it's from birth kasi may nakita na silang mga cases ng mga bata na
Mhm.
parang mga stillborn or mga ganon. Nung
Mhm.
tiningnan nila yung bones sa tenga, nakita na nila na parang may start na ng crack na yun.
I
So
see.
so
Mhm.
so yun, if you have any patients na or any beneficiaries who have those symptoms na parang
Mhm.
sensitive sa hearing, um,
Yeah.
let me know kasi yung problema sa condition ko is dumaan ako ng 2 doktor before na-diagnose ako ng tama. Kasi nga
Mhm.
it's very rare and it's not well known
Mhm.
kaya even yung doctors a lot don't know it. So,
Mhm.
but luckily yung doctor ko sa Philippines actually magaling siya and
Mhm.
nakapag-surgery na ako to where they opened it up,
Hmm.
filled it. But yon actually sometimes make videos nga about my condition sa TikTok and natutuwa yung doctor ko kasi sabi niya na since nga not many people know about the condition, nami-misdiagnose. And then dahil
Ah.
gumawa ako ng TikTok videos about it, yung mga ibang nami-misdiagnose, naisip nila, "Oh, baka ito pala yung condition ko." Tapos they
Oo.
contact my doctor and then they find out na yun nga yung condition and then
Oo.
my doctor says, "Paano mo nalaman?" Kasi may nakita akong TikTok video about this rare condition."
Oo.
So gano'n. So yun,
Mhm. Mhm.
may nakita kayong
Yeah.
may ganyan, let me know, I can
Mhm.
connect with yung doctor ko.
Yes. Sige,
Mm.
thank you, Nico.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Ay, so sorry
before
habang segue ako
Hindi,
na
okay lang, okay lang, okay lang.
segue tayo. Oo.
Ano yan, well, chronic issues actually are more common than we
Mhm.
thought. Pero ako ngayon, I'm reading
Yeah.
up a lot on fibromyalgia kasi a friend of mine is actually going through it. Tapos medyo, pati yung mga doktor niya, hindi alam kung, it's one of those na
Oo.
parang, question mark, ano nangyari?
Oo.
Daming
Yeah,
misdiagnosis and stuff.
Correct.
I think nga yun baka many people might not be that aware but yes, chronic illnesses are very common din. You
Mhm.
probably maybe a lot of people don't realize or hindi pa nag-sink in sa consciousness nila but they most
Mhm.
probably know a person or two who is dealing with a
Mhm.
chronic condition.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's good then to have awareness, and as yung ano nga yung sinabi nga ni Miss Carol din kanina na it's sometimes not good to force people into certain activities kasi di mo alam
Mm.
parang sa'yo okay lang, it's not a big deal, pero ano pala siya, it triggers yung chronic condition nila.
Oo.
So,
Correct.
Baka isipin mo,
kailangan yung
maarte lang
sensitive.
daw. Ganun.
Yan, oo, yung label na, arte naman ito, KJ naman ito. All those
Ang
things.
seryoso.
Pero, oo.
Yeah. And there are people with chronic illnesses who also don't know yet that they have a chronic illness.
Yeah.
Baka di pa sila, it's not bad enough that they need to find someone to diagnose themselves.
Correct.
So, before we actually talk about ABGFPH, merong mas malapit na event na actually we kind of want to highlight na rin. So, sa March 28 is yung kite flying, as mentioned before. So, why don't you, Miss Carol, talk us through like what's gonna happen, and then bakit kites? Dahil lang ba sa name or?
Yeah. Oo. So, this event, ano din siya, parang yearly event din namin siya that we really highlight. Kasi in Kite, we believe na hindi dapat, ang mga bata, hindi yan dapat nagkaka-cancer or nakukulong sa ospital. They should be flying kites. They should be enjoying life. And so through the kite flying event, we're giving them chance to enjoy, no? And also very symbolic din nga yung kite flying. Not only because it rhymes with our name, kite, pero kasi it symbolizes hope di ba? When you're able to fly kite, there's this sense of fulfillment, na sense of hope also. Kaya, this is one of our, the highlight event namin here. So, kaya take ko na rin opportunity, Dwayne, if it's okay, to
Yes.
invite them to sponsor a child to kite flying. So if you're interested, just visit our website, kite.org. So KYTHE.org, kite.org. And then you can look through our website. Pero kami dyan, banner about kite flying. So just click. And then you can see there's a way for you to send the child to kite flying. I think it's 1,499 pesos per child. And if you're willing to provide yung mga in-kind donation, we're accepting food packs, bottled water, bottled juice, snacks. Pwede din yung mga gender-neutral toys or mga activity kits that you can give away. So hopefully we can gather 150 na mga items kasi nga we're inviting panbawa per item, let's say 150 pieces of food pack, 150 pieces of snack, kasi we're also inviting not just a child but also a sibling and a parent, so parang a bit of a family event din siya para everyone can have opportunity na na magkaroon ng kung ano man yung in-kind goods na pwede nilang i-donate.
I think we have
wait.
150
Am I
or so.
you're
back, Nico. Yung video mo nag-choppy.
Am I nawala ba?
Yes.
I'm back.
A bit. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sabi ko nga, Nico, I think we have 150 or something.
If you have 150 of
Yes.
something you can give.
Baka pwede, yes.
Yes. Wait, parang nawawala pa ata ako, no? Or
yeah, just a bit.
Okay.
You're a bit choppy. Yeah. So yeah, go, Nico.
Sige. I'll just go out first a bit. Baka kailangan lang ma-reset yung connection ko.
Okay, sige. See you again. Ayan. So that's March 28th. So 1499 yung sponsor, yung to sponsor a child.
Yes.
And then they're also accepting in-kind donations.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal is siguro around 150 or something. So,
yes, if you have 150 of something you can share.
and so we're gonna fly kites. And then as I was looking through I was browsing kanina sa pages, and then I did see parang a very specific article about parang games, yung may impaired vision yung kid. So yung response niya is literally
I think okay na.
vibrations or
Mhm.
yung tactility of
Yes.
things. So
Mhm.
yung mga ganong condition, parang every story is so unique. Parang every
Yes.
child has something na parang, I don't know, something
Yes.
like a story to tell na unique to them.
Yes.
It's so
Mhm.
inspiring na these
Mhm.
are the lives that you touch every day. Parang ganun.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Every kid.
Where
Sa
will
parang Right.
where will you have your kite flying activity?
So we'll do it in UP Sunken Garden this
Okay.
March 20. So,
20.
yun.
Sorry, I think I interrupted. You were saying something.
Yeah, so in response to what Dwayne said, parang
Mm.
for us in Kite, no child gets left behind. Even if you're visually impaired, even if you have limitations, disabilities, we highlight your abilities. If you
Mm.
can see, there's other senses that you can engage. Hearing, touch, pwede din taste, pwede din smell. So, we try to maximize those other senses that they can engage. Recently, we had a training with a Japanese hospital play specialist. Her name is Chika Matsudaira. Ang ganda ng wisdom na tinuturo niya sa amin when it comes to play. Ito yung gusto ko i-share to sa audience
Mm.
natin. Yun. Sabi niya, toys are not equals to, it's not equivalent to play. So sabi niya, dapat mag-engage ka sa bata. Hindi porket binigyan mo siya ng laruan, play na yun. So dapat meron kayong interaction, dapat you form a relationship. Social, social skills yung binibuild natin. So, we have to look at play na hindi siya laging equivalent sa laruan lang. So it's the relationship we build through this interaction.
Yeah. And well, ako I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. And sa totoo lang, 'di ba yung joke lagi sa mga bata is pag niregaluhan mo sila ng, let's say, ng gift, ganyan, ng toy, minsan yung paglalaruan nila yung box, hindi yung toy. Parang parang may gano'n na
Uh,
actually anything naman puwedeng paglaruan, eh. But what's
correct.
important is who you're playing with, not necessarily
Correct.
the toy itself, 'di ba?
Mhm.
So,
Correct.
ayun. So, actually okey 'yun sa mga parents kasi makamura kayo din. Parang you can actually give them anything but, what they really want is, your time and your
Your
attention,
connection.
your
Mhm.
connection, oo.
Correct. Correct, oo.
Mm.
Hindi siya yung mas mahal na toy, mas mataas na happiness. Hindi, aayuhin mo
Mm.
yung mahal na toy kung hindi tayo nagiging
Oo.
close as parent and child or as brothers or as sisters, di ba? Important talaga the relationship between.
Yeah. Yung mas mahal na toy, mas okey para sa adults 'yun, hindi sa kids.
Oo, correct.
Yung mga
Yung
adults na
collector,
naglalaro. Oo, mga
yung
collector,
naghi-heal,
yun nga.
yung naghi-heal ng inner child.
Oo, oo,
Masaya
yun
yun
nga.
sa ating mga adults na naghi-heal ng
Mm.
inner child.
Pero for the kid, anything nga can be a toy. Actually nga natutuwa ako sa kasi kakagaling ko lang sa Philippine Book Festival. Tapos, yun, yung daughter ko, familiar ba kayo sa Foldabots? Nakita niyo na
Pull
ba
the
yun?
pods. I haven't seen it yet, but
So,
it
imagine,
sounds interesting.
imagine niyo yung parang Transformers na toys, 'di
Oo,
ba? Na
oo.
nagcha-change sila gano'n. Ito parang ganyan pero papel, paper dolls, parang gano'n.
Mm.
So um, may book, it's a book. Tapos, baka Dwayne, if you can look for a picture, it's a book. Tapos nandun yung mga pieces and then you cut it out with scissors and then you assemble it and then it
Mm.
becomes a parang robot. Tapos yung
Mm.
robot pa na yun, pwede mong i-transform, you move a bit of the pieces, kotse na siya. Tapos palitan mo na siyang
Okay.
kotse, ano, robot na siya. So yun,
Mhm.
so yung, ayun, bumili kami ng, for my daughter. Tapos yun, the past days, yun lang, nandun lang siya sa kwarto, gupit-gupit lang siya. Tapos dinidikit-dikit niya yung mga foldabots. So yun, tapos
Saya.
tuwang-tuwa siya na pinapakita niya sa akin yung mga nagawa niya na foldabots,
Aha.
gano'n. So, ayun, it's as simple as a paper. Although, syempre, magaling yung gumawa ng design kasi
Oo.
yun naman yun, hindi lang siya papel, di ba? Yung nagdisenyo
Mhm.
ng foldabots. But, yun, kids will really enjoy anything basta they have an activity and they make a connection.
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
Baka, well, let's see. Baka naman, may foldabots, may gustong mag-donate ng foldabots sa
Yes. Yes. Oo,
And
para
yung
sa
yung
payroom.
baka may gustong mag-donate.
150 off. Hindi, joke. Whatever amount na or
Mm-mm.
quantity that you can provide.
Mm-mm.
Tsaka,
Usually, 150 kids din yung sa kite flying activity.
Sa kite flying, But
Dapat yun.
kung hindi naman, hindi ko abot kaya mag-provide ng 150 of something. Pwede naman for playroom use, no? So if you have preferably new toys kasi nga for infection control if there's a toy that you can donate in the playroom. So we have playrooms in Philippine Orthopedic Center, National Children's Hospital, Philippine Children's Medical Center, Quirino Memorial Medical Center. And if we have viewers in Tarlac, we have Tarlac Provincial Hospital, in Bicol, Bicol Regional Medical Center, in Cebu, Cebu Cancer Institute sa Pretul Soccer Hospital. We also have one in Cotabato Regional Medical Center, and also in Bacolod, Corazon Locsin Medical Center. So kung medyo malapit kayo doon at gusto niyo mag-donate ng toys sa kanilang playroom, pwede po kayo mag-donate ng toys.
So if they want to donate, do they contact Kite or they go to the hospital directly?
Preferably. Yeah, okay. Mag-message muna sila sa amin. So you can email us at info@kite.org. So you can message us para ma-coordinate namin when you can drop off, where you can drop off, sino yung iko-contact. Kasi baka pumunta sila pero wala dun yung staff.
Are there any other special considerations pag kunyari magdo-donate sila? Kasi actually, ngayon ko lang nga naisip na for these special cases nga, kailangan hindi second hand kasi baka may compromise yung immune system or mga ganon. Are there any other special considerations?
Yeah, so yun, sana yun nga. First, wag second-hand toys kasi nga for infection control. Second, avoid yung medyo kasi pagka-bedside, especially if it's intended for bedside activity, medyo messy na toy na like mga malipipinong sand, tapos kumalat sa
mga Play-Doh, mga ganon.
Play-Doh is okay naman, medyo
Play-Doh is okay.
Manageable naman siya. Actually, pwede din naman pala kahit mga messy toys, pero pang strictly for playroom use yung pwedeng malinis. Pero for bedside, yun, you avoid yung mga medyo messy na mga activity. Kasi parang, syempre, we want the child to experience all range of play activities, kahit messy. Kasi minsan, tayong adult, ay, wag messy kasi hirap pagligpit. Pero kasi for children to experience those kind of mga play activities kahit messy, it's part also of their developmental stage, especially for the young ones, parang mga sensory toys or mga kinetic size. Actually, kinetic sand, mas okay yun. Mas madaling i-manage kasi dikit-dikit siya na sand. So, yun.
How do the kids, if I can ask, paano usually yung how do they play in the sense na ayun they play sa room nila na sila lang, so parang may toys na parang solo lang, or they also nga go to playrooms and play with each other? Medyo
Okay. So, iba't ibang hospital, iba't iba yung setting. So, for those hospital na we have a dedicated playroom, we can
Mm.
invite the kids in, tapos we can do structured play. So, minsan yung mga staff namin or child life coordinators assigned in the hospital, they will engage the children with the structured play. So,
Mhm.
pwedeng free play yan, kahit anong play na gusto niyo gawin, or medyo mas intentional na play. Halimbawa, okay, today we will learn about blood. So, meron kami activity
Mm.
na tinatawag namin blood soup. Yung mga use
Mm.
of mga
Ah,
beads para maintindihan nila yung, this is white blood cell. Pagka parang imagine mo na nasa magnifying, ay, what do you call this? Microscope. If you're
so,
looking through the microscope, seeing yung mga ingredients ng blood. Ito, yung
mm,
bead na to ay white blood cell. Ito, red blood cell. Ito, platelet. Ito, plasma. Tapos, gagawin,
ah,
para paghahalu-haluin namin together, maglalagay kami na, yung plasma is, parang joy, kasi
mm,
yellowish ang plasma talaga eh.
mm,
Tapos glitter, yan yung, ayan, pero may iba't ibang ingredients, teaching them, this
mm,
is what your blood is made of. So,
mm,
kapag halimbawa, nanghihina ka, ibig sabihin, mababa red blood cell mo, konti yung
mm,
red beads, so parang ganun siya. So, found objects minsan, or mga simple craft items, pero we're teaching them what blood is, or halimbawa, paghahanda sa chemotherapy. So,
mm,
we teach them, pero kami book, Kapitan Chemo. So, we do a storytelling about Kapitan Chemo. And then the kids would do, yung parang kinikwento mong, ano ba yun? Bots, the
all the
folding
bots,
bots,
oo.
all the bots. So they
Mm,
have, parang we give them parang a finger puppet version ni Kapitan Chemo that they
mhm,
can bring in for their chemotherapy. Para, okay, kaya ko to kasi kasama ko si Kapitan Chemo. So, yan,
mm,
structured play or sometimes free play. Sometimes you do it in groups, sometimes especially kung merong special need yung bata. Halimbawa, newly diagnosed patient siya. Hindi niya pa
mm.
alam kung ano mangyayari, takot na takot pa siya. So we do one-on-ones with them.
Ang galing. So it's not only play na play lang just because kids play, but using
Yeah.
play as a way for them to understand their condition and understand their
Yeah.
treatment.
And
Ah,
to cope
and
with the
mm.
hospitalization, with the treatment.
Oo,
So
actually
minsan,
ang,
kahit,
sige, sorry, ang laking bagay na yun kasi, in my experience, kasi nga I also had a condition, the first siguro I had mga 2 to 4 years, 'di ko masabi, na may symptoms ako pero hindi ko naiintindihan. Tapos every doctor I went to, um, parang may sinasabi, ito yun, pero parang hindi tumutugma. And,
mm,
um, yun parang I guess it's a big thing for a patient, and at least that's my experience, na may doubt ka, hindi mo alam ano nangyayari, hindi mo alam yung problema.
oo.
Just the fact na I remember the day na na-confirm yung condition ko kasi I had a CT scan tapos ininterpret ng doctors na parang, "Okay, confirmed ito talaga yung condition mo." Parang ang laking bagay, ang laking weight na na-lift off
Early.
yung shoulders mo kasi
Mm,
just the fact na naintindihan mo na
mm,
anong nangyayari and
yan.
what's gonna happen and what all of it means is
Mm,
such a big help to the morale and the psyche of the person. So I think ang
yeah.
ganda nun na yun, the kids are just through play in a very lighthearted activity, understand what
Mhm.
they're going through and why all of these things are happening.
Yes.
Mm,
I had a patient, I work with a patient similar to what you experienced, Nico.
mm,
Nagpapakimo siya,
mm,
bone marrow aspiration,
mm,
intracranial therapy, lahat yun ginagawa niya for nagko-comply naman siya. Tapos tinanong siya, alam mo ba kung bakit yung ginagawa sa'yo? Hindi. Alam mo ba yung tawag sa sakit mo? Hindi. So,
mm,
sobrang ang hirap nun sa bata na basta
mm,
sinusunod ko lang kasi sabi sa'kin, eh. So
Mm.
I had to sit down with him. Parang we had this book called Sigla. So it talks about the different kinds of leukemia, yung components of blood. Tapos parang now it makes sense to him. Bakit ako nanghihina? Bakit pag sinabing
Mm.
mababa ang platelet, sasalinan ako? Bakit ako
Mm.
nagdudugo pag mababa yung platelet ko? Or bakit mahina immune system ko? Because he was able to understand, kaya pala ako nagpa-blood test para malaman kung ano yung kailangang
Mm.
isalin sa akin, or kung pwede na ba ako mag-chemotherapy. Parang, I saw the change in his face after we had that session together na parang, alam ko na pala Ate Carol, ganito pala nangyayari sa katawan ko. Kasi hindi ko alam, basta sumusunod lang ako kay tatay kung anong
Mm.
papagawa niya sa akin eh.
Yeah, it's kasi as you said earlier, hope is very important. And it's hard to hope when you don't understand what's happening.
Ah,
Parang wala kang context, hindi mo talaga naiintindihan, sunod-sunod ka lang. It's hard to envision your future if hindi mo naiintindihan. Mm.
Oo, parang in a way, it's a traumatic experience.
Mm.
Ano nangyayari? Hindi ko and it's my body. I don't know what's going on with my own body. Yeah,
Tsaka
very empowering if you know
and
what's
I
going on.
think yes, empowering is the correct word. And I also um like in my case, I think um and I'm sure ganito din yung experience ng mga ibang mga bata, is if you don't understand yung anong nangyayari sa'yo, ano yung condition mo, ano yung nararamdaman mo, hindi mo din ma-e-explain sa mga ibang tao at hindi mo it will be hard for you to make people understand what you're going through and what you need from other people. But if you
Yes.
understand na yung nangyayari conceptually, intellectually, naintindihan mo, it's easier for you to verbalize yung mga needs mo, yung mga kailangan mo, um, so that you don't feel like you're a burden to other people.
Yeah.
Kasi ano din, eh, klaro na, eh, na parang, "I need this because this." Yun.
Yes.
Mm.
You can
So it's
advocate for yourself.
Yon, you can advocate for yourself. Kasi I think a lot of the people who have chronic illnesses, yun din yung kailangan nilang yung experience nila is, um, they feel like they are a burden sa mga loved ones nila. But if they understand what's happening, it helps lighten that load kasi they can explain exactly what they need.
And in addition to that, we have
Mm.
some patients who are experiencing bullying.
Hmm.
Kasi minsan, especially before the pandemic, they would wear masks kasi nga immunocompromised sila.
Yes.
And people, bawa sakay sila sa jeep, lalayo sa kanila yung mga pasahero kasi nakamask yung bata. So, they don't understand na, uy, hindi ako nakakahawa, mas kayo pwedeng manghawa sa akin kasi
Mm.
immunocompromised ako. And we have patients who have condition called beta thalassemia. Kasi
Mm.
ang beta thalassemia, it's a blood disorder na merong hemoglobin disorder siya, no? So, yung growth ng mga bata, stunted siya. So, they may look very young, pero totoo, 18 years old na sila.
Hmm.
So, parang minsan nabubuli sila na pandak sila or minsan kasi lumalaki yung tiyan nila because lumalaki din yung ibang organ nila dahil nagko-compensate dun sa kakulangan ng blood nila. Or minsan may deformities because yung sa bone nila parang nag-overwork mag-produce ng blood components yung bone nila. So, nabubuli sila and yun nga, for them to be able to explain, ganito ako kasi I have thalassemia and these are
Oo.
the symptoms of thalassemia. So, hindi ko to gusto. No? So, they
Mm.
can advocate and fight for themselves when they are empowered.
Mm. Yeah, ang laking bagay. Makes me think din nga anong mga other games na puwedeng, ah, gawin for, for learning for yung mga, cases like this. Kasi usually when people talk about um, the usefulness of games, of play, laging nababato sa parang soft skills, parang how to
Yes.
socialize, um, how to be patient, how to follow
Mm.
rules, how to
Yeah.
those things. Pero ito, merong ding hard knowledge and hard skills na nakukuha, which is yun,
Yeah.
understanding these medical conditions, understanding these medical treatments, which I'm sure is invaluable sa mga sa mga bata. And also sa mga family. Do the family members also join them sa mga ganitong games nila para maintindihan din?
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, oo. So, we used to have play dates. 'Pag
Mhm.
play dates kasama din yung mga magulang ano. Dugtungan ko lang yung thought kanina na sinabi mo, Nico, about creating games that will teach
Hmm.
them about the condition. Nung COVID-19 pandemic,
Hmm.
we created a game called ano, COVID ano ba yun? COVID ladders ba? Or something like that. Parang snakes
Mhm.
and ladders yung
Mhm.
concept. Pero COVID yung concept. So,
Mhm.
if you do the correct protocol, you go up. Yun,
Mhm.
COVID slides and ladder. But if you,
COVID 6
yun, COVID slides and ladder. Pero pag may ginawa kang na against the COVID protocol, you slide down the ladder. So we try to integrate mga concept
Mhm.
ng games to teach the child ano yung dapat na sinusunod mo or hindi dapat na ginagawa mo.
Mhm. Actually,
Hmm.
yung Snakes and Ladders ay, um, yung history niya as a game is as an educational game. Yung Snakes and
Mm.
Ladders ay first created sa India, I think. I think Buddhism, to teach
Morals.
Buddhist lessons, I think. And kaya ladders kasi umaakyat kayo sa enlightenment, parang gano'n.
Ang
Tapos
galing.
parang ano, pabalik kayo sa I think, parang back to yung
Nag-backslide
Buddhist
kayo.
prayers, oo, nagba-backslide.
Hmm.
Pero yung ladders parang paakyat ka to enlightenment. So yun yung Snakes and Ladders mismo originally was created to teach about Buddhist teachings and
Ang
wisdom.
galing.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Uh, I wanna slide something in lang, although medyo ano na, nag-overtime na rin tayo.
Oo nga.
There's a lot of
Oh, late na pala. Okay.
I wanna highlight lang din, there's a lot of ano kasi, advancements, I guess, in accessibility design. So,
Yes.
kunwari ako, like, I'm colorblind, so red, green, gano'n. So, a lot of the games right now actually cater towards that parang disability. So, kunwari, red and green, yung gano'n, na pagkakamala na pareho. But there are safeguards, parang yung red, triangle, yung green, yeah, circles. So, even if you don't see them right, meron pa ring other indicators for it. And then, kunwari, like, yung iba, although mas earlier stages, may mga tactility na. So may mga parang you can play even if you're quite very nearsighted or something, or you have trouble seeing things from afar.
You're
Meron ka
visually
ng mga
impaired.
assistances, visually impairedness ka. Yan. So I think those are things that we can start implementing then writ large eventually to accommodate for everyone. Kasi I think yung mga small na adjustments na ganun, or parang minor like adjustments we make, pero they're actually good for the better. Parang the larger people. Kasi nga,
Yeah.
there's a lot more that can be, we can reach a lot more people actually by doing simple things like that.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes. Now we always run our games through si Dwayne for to check yung mga colorblind kung okay pa
Hmm.
kung nalalaro pa siya kahit colorblind. Um and yon. And actually, and the nice thing, and this is something then that I hear a lot of people say, is that when you make things accessible, it helps everyone, even the ones who don't have that um disability or whatever, na parang, so for example, yung example nun is yung mga wheelchair ramps, 'di ba,
Hmm.
for accessibility. Pero dahil nilagyan ng wheelchair ramps, ngayon, yung mga may bagahe, yung mga may stroller, lahat na
Mhm.
nakakatulong sa lahat. So,
Yes.
so in that sense nga, like ano, yung games na merong um, design to help the colorblind, kunyari by not just using colors but associating shapes to colors, like lahat ng green is circle nga, lahat ng red is triangle. It also helps all of the people who can see both colors
Mhm.
kasi
Mhm.
bakit may additional visual cue to help them
Mhm.
differentiate now the colors. So ngayon, may shape na
Correct.
din. Mm-mm.
Mhm. Mhm. No one gets left behind. Lahat may
Mm-mm.
access to play.
Yes. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So actually, there's and this is yung kind of talk na nanganganak ng talks. Like we can
Oo.
keep on going at this. Ang dami, like
Mm.
pati yung mga patterns implementations, best practices, ang daming ganun eh. But we were only given an hour kasi gabi na rin and people have to rest galing pa tayong work. So
Mm. Yes.
there will be more. I believe meron ding talk ang kahit sa mismong event. And then
Mm.
for both days, parang there's ways to connect to you. So not only through the website and everything, mismong sa ABGF, you'll be able to meet guys and then learn more about them and then learn more about what they do. And then if you want to help or support, you can just reach them. So another thing, a portion of actually specifically Larong Athens earnings, and I think may mga select na mga publishers din are actually going to uh, be donated to guys. Pero more details as the days to come. Basta kami, we're really, really excited to partner with guys.
Mm.
Parang ano siya, it's like a astronomical alignment of values and goals. Parang kami, sige, sige, sige. Like, yes, yes, yes,
Mm.
yes, yes. And yeah, so we're really excited to have you on board. We're so excited. Like, even in the events to come, baka maybe expect us na rin. Magparamdam na
Yes.
rin kami.
Um,
And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Will,
medyo ano siya, fortuitous, I guess.
will some of the beneficiaries kaya be able to attend ABGF or medyo baka delikado pa, no? Especially kung immunocompromised yung iba. Medyo
Hmm.
mhm.
pa. Mm.
Well, we
Um,
can bring kasi.
baka naman there's a way for us to do that. Kasi hindi naman lahat sila ay immunocompromised. Meron din naman, kasi nakaka-summer camp din naman sila, di ba?
Mm.
So, we can choose patients who can be part of your event. Kasi may mga gamers din, baka may mga interested din to learn how to do board games. Baka meron din kayo
Mhm.
mga enthusiasts din na mga patient that would really enjoy your event.
Well,
Yes,
likewise,
yes.
then we can also just bring the games to them. So,
Yes.
ganun
Yeah.
din siya eh. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. We do it naman
Mm.
with schools, di ba? Kaya sila pa kaya.
Yes.
Yes. Mm.
And yeah, so ganun, really excited about this partnership. Personally, like I've been thanking this personally. And then lots of announcements pa coming. Pero I
Mhm.
think while we have Miss Carol here, baka sige, like lahat na lahat na bago mag ano yung 1 hour and 20 mark, I guess.
Mhm.
So they have other announcements of upcoming na mga events, and then anything that you'd like people to explore, kahit visit lang the site to learn more about
Mhm.
guys.
Yeah, so aside from the website, you can explore our social media accounts. So we have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So just search for our organization's name, Kite Foundation. So yeah, so follow us, like
Mhm.
our page. Yeah. Thank you very much for this
And,
opportunity. I
and ano
enjoyed this
lang,
conversation.
and to reiterate lang yung ano, Kite is just for whoever just entered the stream later. Can you reiterate po yung sponsoring ng Kite for
Oh
your
yeah.
just for anyone who entered late? Oh.
Yes. For those who didn't catch our conversation about kite flying,
Mm-mm.
so we have upcoming kite flying event on March 28th. So if you would like to sponsor a child to the kite flying, so you can visit our website kite.org, So just look for a banner about our kite flying event. So you can sponsor a child to this event at 1,499 pesos. Also, if you would like to donate in-kind donation, you can send 150 of anything, pwedeng bottled water, juice, snacks, play kits, toys, and you can send your donation at our kite office in 201 FSS Building 1, Scout Tuazon Corner, Scout Castor Street in Quezon City. So we are in the Scout area lang. So
Mhm.
there.
Okay.
And so, again, in keeping with our time, so sorry we have to end the stream,
Mhm.
but we're so happy to have you here. And then, we're really excited for the future partnerships with guys. And on that note, we'd like to invite you all sa ABGF this May 2 and 3. We will have guys there, and then we will have Nico there and me there, and then we will all
Mhm.
be there. So, ayun, Tara, let's play some games, and then maybe we can talk about this more. Yun nga, if this stream inspires you to help in some way, or to maybe volunteers, or like maybe even adopt, sorry, uh, a patient. So just do so. Right now it's a really good time to be, I don't know, just be kind, and then alam mo when people have fun, may ano yan eh, para social. You also just have fun yourself. So that's it for today. Thank you, Miss Carol. Thank you, Nico, for coming in.
Thank you.
And
Mhm.
You.
next week, podcast, surprise as usual. Yeah, so that's it, and then we'll see you all at ABGF, and goodbye.
Good
Bye.
night.